Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Goonbeam Assault Light. Now before we get into the video, I did want to mention I did buy this light with my own money, but I do have an affiliate link with Goonbeam. So if you decide to pick up this light or any of the other Goonbeam products, I would appreciate it if you would use that link. It's down in the description. It would go to help out the channel. So the Assault Light is going to be an extremely high output handheld light. It's very straightforward. This thing does not have a lot of settings. It doesn't have a lot of modes. Matter of fact, it only has one, and that's going to be high only. It does have a momentary, and then you can also click it for a constant on, but there are no lower settings. So I definitely put this in the category more of a defensive light, which is the primary reason that I carry a handheld light anyway. If you're needing to put a lot of light in one place, see what's going on, see what's in somebody's hands, photonic barriers, all of those things, this is definitely going to be a good light. It is 1800 lumen and 110,000 candela. So this thing is literally like a lightsaber. It puts an extreme amount of light in one place, but with 1800 lumens, it has a very respectable amount of flood. Of course, the only con to a setup like this, since you can't dim it down, you know, if you're looking for your keys or something like that, working on your car under the hood, you probably don't want that much horsepower all at once, and there is no lower settings. So you're going to have to deploy some other kind of technique. Usually when I'm using this light more as an admin light, looking for the keys or whatever, I will turn it on and just cup the end of the light, and that way I can just kind of dim it down a little bit, or at least make it a little more subdued, and that has worked pretty good for me. But if your primary role, like myself, is looking at more of a defensive light, having that much power in a light that is no bigger than this is pretty awesome. So here are some of the specs on the light. As previously mentioned, 1800 lumen, 110,000 candela. It's impact resistant for 2 meters. It is waterproof rated for IP68. Now it says here that it weighs 5.9 ounces. Mine actually weighs 6.2, but it weighs 5.9 without the finger ring. So just something to consider. Now size wise, this light isn't huge, but it definitely is on the bigger side for a EDC light, at least for most people. Myself personally, I have no problem carrying a light like this every day. I already carry a full-size firearm, so this is kind of a no-brainer. But just a size comparison, this is the Goonbeam EDC V2. So I did a video on this light in the past, and I still highly recommend this light. As far as I'm concerned, this is the king for output to weight ratio. This thing has a whole lot of output for a very small size. I'll link a video for this light down in the description. But there is a little size comparison. So definitely a lot bigger than the EDC V2, but it does have significantly more power as well. Another common light that is about the same size as this one is going to be the Surefire G2X. Now this is a light that I carried for a very long time. You can see I have it configured very similar to the Goonbeam with the finger ring. This is still a really good light. It's still really reliable, but in terms of output, this light is really dated at this point. I'm thinking it has somewhere around 8,000 or 9,000 candela and like 600 lumen. Not even comparable to the Goonbeam, even though they are about the same size. I still like the Surefire. I think it's a good, solid, just reliable light. But when it comes to output, it definitely leaves a lot to be desired when compared to something like the Goonbeam. Now this light is going to be powered from a 18650. What else would it be? I don't know. So this light is going to be powered from a 18650 battery, and it is going to come with one of those in the box. Also in the box, it's going to come with a battery charger that will charge 2 batteries. It's going to come with the light itself. It's going to come with this finger ring, which you can remove. And another thing, it's going to come with these little spacers. What these spacers will allow you to do is to really adjust how easy it is to activate the light. So if you run it with no spacer, that's obviously going to be the easiest to activate. The button is very exposed. You can put the first spacer in, which is what I like to do. And it's giving you a little bit of protection, but you can still get to the button relatively easy. You can still deploy this along with a handgun if you're familiar with that technique. And then the next spacer is going to give you the most protection. It's going to make that button really hidden, almost hard to get to, but is really going to help prevent from, accidentally turning the light on when you didn't mean to. If you take the clip or the finger ring off and you run the biggest spacer, you can also at that point tail cap stand the light. So if that's something you need, it can be done. So I've been carrying this light every day for 4 months since I originally got it. I've dropped it, I've abused it, I've intentionally abused it a little bit, and this thing just keeps on ticking. I haven't had a single problem with the light. One of the first things I did when I originally got the light was I charged it up, I turned it on, and I let the light drain all the way down until it was completely dead. I actually did that 2 different times. These days, with a lot of these high output lights, we've had some of them in the past to blow up O-light. And so that is something I like to always do when I get a new light, especially something like this that is so high output. I like to drain it all the way down and see if anything melts or destroys itself. And I'm pleased to report that did not happen with the Goonbeam, and it hasn't happened with any of the Goonbeams that I've tested. So this is definitely designed to be a handheld light, but it does have what seems to be a 1-inch body here in the center. So that means it will fit a wide variety of weapon lights. Now, it's not necessarily designed for that, it's not advertised for that, but I have mounted this thing up on a couple different rifles. Haven't put a crazy amount of rounds downrange testing it on a rifle. Probably I'm just guesstimating, I would say maybe 400 or 500 rounds. In that time, it did absolutely fine. I really like running the bigger spacer when I'm running it on a rifle. Just gives me a little bit more protection from that button. That way I'm not accidentally going to constant on when I only wanted a momentary. But I did want to mention that I have shot this thing a little bit on a rifle. It's not made for that, it's not advertised for that, but it seems to work very well. And obviously with that much output, this thing is just begging to be mounted on a carbine. I hope in the future that Goonbeam comes up with something similar to this that is specifically designed to go on a carbine. This kind of output at this price point on a carbine, that's a no-brainer. So that about wraps it up for today's video. If you're looking for an extremely high output, high candela, high lumen handheld light, maybe even a weapon light, I would highly recommend the Goonbeam assault light. I'm going to continue carrying this thing, continue testing it. Something goes wrong with it, I'll come back and let you guys know. But going forward, this is going to be my go-to everyday carry light. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video and found the information helpful. If you're not following me on social media, I would appreciate that as well. If you would like to contact me, that's going to be the best place, Instagram or Facebook. Also, my email is down in the description. As always, thanks for watching. See y'all next time.